Hey guys, just want to do a video here and talk to you a little bit about something that's in the news right now, which is talk about how all of our manufacturing has left this country, and how it's now coming back, or it's going to come back in the near future. And it's a huge subject. I mean, I can't cover that in this video. Can't cover that in any one video anyway, because it's going to be uh, just beyond the possibility to put this in a reasonable video. Um, but I want to cover a couple of things here, just to kind of set the stage for the discussion. And that is that from a factual standpoint, this is removing politics. This is removing any kind of personal bias. This is just reality and it's facts. Um, U.S. manufacturing was not stolen from us. We actively gave it away as a country. The business community in this country, and starting in the 70s, decided that it was in their best interest to manufacture certain products offshore. And it was literally called offshoring, or low-cost country sourcing. So they started moving. I'm from North Carolina. At one point let's just say the 1960s, before I was born, if you bought a piece of furniture anywhere in the United States, there was about an 85% chance it came from North Carolina or Southern Virginia. That's what we did. For many years, the largest trade show in the world was the Home Furnishing Show in High Point, just generically referred to as the furniture market. This was the center. North Carolina was the center of furniture manufacturing in the same way Detroit was the center of automotive build manufacturing. So I've watched all that go away. I've watched the textile industry, which was also huge throughout the South and other parts of the country, but I'm from the South, so I can speak to that directly. I've watched the textile industry just completely disappear. If you go online and Google Cone Mills, North Carolina. So I'm from Greensboro. That was where Cone Mills was based. They were the largest producer of denim in the world for 100 years. I was born at Cone Hospital. I went to Cone Elementary School, which was located on Cone Boulevard. I drove past these plants. They had 4 facilities, and I drove past them virtually every day of my life. And they were massive, massive facilities. And all that has gone overseas. It hasn't just gone to China. It's gone to Bangladesh and any number of other countries. That type of textile is produced now in probably 20 different countries. But not only did that get shipped overseas, but the technology has changed. The 3 original plants at Cone Mills were the largest structures in the state of North Carolina for 100 years. They were massive. I mean, each building was something like 1.2 million square feet, multiple floors, and thousands of I apologize, I don't know what they're called exactly, but I believe they're looms, the machines that actually weave the denim, and just thousands of them in there. So, now you can do the same level of, or have the same level of productivity and of output in a facility that's about 20% as big and only has 4 or 5 machines, because those machines are computer operated. They don't have the mechanical failures that these older machines had. They don't have the maintenance and upkeep issues that the older machines have. And so the industry has changed. But one of the reasons it changed is the tax code. Okay, so in the 1940s and 50s, immediately after World War II, when kind of the modern world was being recreated after the war, industry representatives, and I'll just stick with textiles, they would go to the government and say, we as in this entire industry, we need this type of tax code in order to assist the entire industry. Over the years, that's changed with the lobbyists that we have now and the way the lobbyists operate. Now, a company will go in and speak to the government, not on behalf of the industry, but on behalf of them, their interest. And they will solicit government officials to have the tax code changed in a way that benefits them specifically. And what that does is that makes it almost impossible to ever change the tax code at this point, because every line of the tax code has a sponsor, for lack of a better term, a company that asks for that change and benefits from that change, and they're going to fight it tooth and nail. They're going to throw money at it through the use of lawyers and just every resource they have is going to go into keeping that tax law in place. So anyway, all this industry left. These companies requested tax changes that would allow them to offshore their production, and that would allow them to bring the product of that offshoring back into the U.S. At little to no penalty to them. Because the United States is still a place where most companies want to do business, because we are the market. We are the world's market. We spend more money on more crap than any other country in the world. But also our legal system. Our legal system has been historically trustworthy enough so that if a company did business here in the U.S., even if they weren't based here, they could expect to be treated fairly should they ever go to court for some reason. And that's a whole different issue. We can talk about maybe the erosion of trust in the court system that's occurred, recently, and how that is going to have long-term repercussions, negative repercussions in the American marketplace. But anyway, though, to move on and kind of get more to the point. So, I've been selling Amazon now for 27 years, I believe, 28 years, something like that, since '98. And I have grown my business to, it went from being a hobby, just something I was playing around with for years, to being a business I took more seriously. And then a business I got very serious about maybe 8 or 9 years ago. And, I have tried on many occasions to source products from the U.S. And there are a couple of products I source from the U.S., but they are typically high dollar products. I sell some things on Amazon that go for, over $10,000. Don't sell a lot of them, but when I sell one, I buy myself dinner that night. I'm happy. But anyway, those are usually sourced from the U.S. But here's the deal. When I've approached companies in the U.S., even as a larger seller, where a company will say, well, our order quantity, minimum order quantity may be 500 pieces. I'm like, well, okay, that's no problem. I can do 2,500. I'm looking for a price break based on volume. I'm not going to buy 10,000 to save a few pennies, but I might buy 2,500. I might buy 5,000 pieces, depending on what it is. Every product is different. But in the U.S., manufacturers, and more often than not, the distributors that those manufacturers use, whether it's an in-house distributor or a contractual distributor, they act like, I just walked in carrying a dead skunk. They just don't want to entertain the idea of selling to me. They're looking to sell to regional distributors, and those regional distributors are looking to sell to maybe another level of distributors. And by the time it gets to the point where I can buy it, on many occasions, a majority of occasions, the final price I've been offered, even when I'm buying in large volume, has been higher than what I can buy that item for going to a Best Buy or a Costco or a Sam's Club. And that's just ridiculous, because they know I'm going to sell it. I'm not looking to buy 2,500 widgets for myself. I'm looking to resell. But they have just not been very friendly. Contrast that with China. When I was a baby Amazon seller, making my first trips to China to go to Canton Fair and Yiwu and visit the different marketplaces over there, I remember being a little bit horrified when a company that I was talking to, that I was already doing a little bit of business with, but not much, but maybe $10,000, $15,000 a year, when I met representatives from that country, or from that company rather, at Canton Fair, they invited me to come visit the factory, and I took them up on that. And a couple of days later, they picked me up in a bus that wasn't quite a full-size tour bus. It held maybe 16 people, but it was a luxury bus. I mean, we're talking like, you know, Rolls-Royce style bus. Very, very nice inside. And they take me and about 5 other people to the factory, where when we pull up at the factory, they literally have a red carpet rolled out, and they have about 60 people standing out there in lab coats and standing at attention. And each one introduces themselves, they shake hands, they bow. It was quite a production. I felt like a visiting diplomat, not some small-time Amazon seller. But anyway, we go in and they have a lavish dinner for us, or lunch rather, and just treat us like kings. Treat us like kings. They wanted my business, and you can take this as a positive or a negative. And I'm speaking not in terms of protecting, you know, American business when I say this. I'm talking about as a person buying to sell on Amazon. It's hard for them to say no. It's hard for Chinese people to say no. Just it's a cultural thing. So I'm at a plant. I'm at a manufacturing facility, and this facility made largely toys. That was something I sold early on. But I think after a while, if I had asked for a jet engine, they would have said, "Oh yes, we make those too." Absolutely, you know, and given enough time, an hour or two, they would have had somebody in that room who was there willing to sell me a jet engine. So you get what's called a trade show yes. And the trade show yes, it may lead you a little bit astray, but it's not that they're trying to lie or mislead you. What it is that they have a cooperative business community in China that we just don't have in this country. I mean, we have fierce competition between different manufacturers and different brands. And they just typically don't assist each other. But once you have shown yourself to be an actual buyer, you've qualified yourself as being somebody who's in business and wants to do business, and you're sitting in a manufacturing facility, they don't want to let you leave until they sell you something. And if they sell you something that's not produced in their factory, that's okay. They'll take a 1% cut from the factory that produces it. They'll get a finder's fee, but they will sell you that product. And you know, it's just, take it for what it's worth. But when you are welcomed with open arms and treated so generously and treated so respectfully, and they make it clear they want your business, it's hard to say no. It really is. So I'm going to cut this one off here, this video off here. I want to make a part 2 of this video because I want to give you one specific example of an experience I had sourcing a product that went on to sell millions of dollars worth of product. And I bent over backwards to source that through a supplier here in the United States. I visited several suppliers. I had my numbers in order. I knew what their production costs were. I knew where their materials came from. I knew what they paid for their materials. And they treated me like I was just crap. And it didn't work out well for them. They kind of got a little payback. But anyway, if you want to make sure to see that video, I'll get it up in the next couple of days. But go ahead and hit subscribe if you would. If this video was of interest to you at all, I know I rambled a little bit, but if it was of interest to you, you know, hit the like button. But be sure you subscribe. You know, I've been on a crusade since I've been on YouTube about 8 or 9 years now, trying to combat some of the hype and some of the ridiculous get-rich-quick stuff. So my videos may not be flashy. They may not be, you know, full of graphics and talks of AI and whatnot. But I try to give you honest information. So, you know, hook me up with a subscribe, and watch out for the next video. I'm going to do a video about the product I was mentioning that I was trying to source here, which were actually chairs. And it's a good story. It's one I tell my students, and it's one that, you know, if you're looking to sell on Amazon, I think there's some lessons in it for you. So until then, take care.